Good morning, everybody. What is going on? We are live this morning. Give me a few moments. I'm going to share out with everybody that we are live, and then I'll be with you guys in a couple of moments. So just give me a couple moments as I share here for you guys. I'll be right with you guys. All right, so looks like we are good. Good morning, everybody. What is going on? So it's Friday. Market is up a little bit here today. Still trading. You can see on the futures here, kind of like that handle of a cup and handle, trading sideways. In between, you can see some resistance up here at that 2740s range. Angular momentum down right here. You can see price broke out of angular resistance, came back down, retested a couple times, trading sideways in the middle. So got to keep an eye on it, right? So we'll see here, price is above the 9 EMA right now, but it's still kind of trapped inside here. So got to see what happens today, see what we will be looking at this morning. We'll look at our watch list ones, and then we'll take a look at trade ideas. VKTX has some volume already in the pre-market. So you see this had a huge day yesterday. Now it's already really popping pre-market. It's overextended on the daily. Now you can see pre-market resistance is 1118. Thinkorswim does not have shares to short of it. So again, it may continue. You want to see it get above 1118. But if you can find shares of it to short, if 1118, if it rejects up here, you can see a head and shoulders right now, left shoulder, head, right shoulder forming. This one may want to come down. We got to keep an eye on it. Let's kind of draw a trend line here. Dan, the trend line master, will appreciate this. Kind of right here. You got to right about there-ish, right? So you kind of have a trend line being formed here. So keep an eye on that and see if the buyers are going to come in or if it's going to start to fail. You know, this could pull back and then it could go up a couple more times and form an ascending triangle as well. So it's one to keep an eye on. So VKTX, it's either going to go up or down. It's going to do something. It's got a lot of volume, so it's one to keep an eye on. Kind of peripherally, I don't really like the pattern right now. Just because it's got that head and shoulders. But it's one we'll keep an eye on. Jill was one I was watching for some potential continuation. There's not much pre-market volume. I wanted to see it get above that. You can see it was kind of like this. It was kind of a sloppy, almost ascending triangle right here. Let me try and do... It's kind of tough to do a trend line on that one right now. But pre-market, not doing much of anything right now. So don't really like that one right now very much. But if it can get above 790, it's one to watch. Again, overextended as well. So again, these ones on the daily watch list, these are ones you're day trading, right? Not necessarily holding for a swing trade long term. These small cap stocks. What's up, Big Bear? These small cap stocks are pretty much garbage pump and dumps, the majority of them. So you trade them and they're, you want the volatility, right? So, this may go up, might get a pop, or it just might fail up here and dump, right? So don't really like, again, I don't like the pattern on it right now. BOXL, not really doing much of anything either right now. Let's take a look at IPAS. So IPAS, I had a cheapo one on there for you guys. You can see an inverse head and shoulders-ish, kind of like a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. And then you can just kind of just keep extending this neckline out on it. This one I put on, it's a cheapo stock. I figured, you know, if it can get up to 50 cents or so, and you can make 5 cents on a 50-cent stock, that ain't so bad. You could also see some resistance at about 60 cents or so if it can get a break above 50 cents. So this one to peripherally watch. If you get some volume and can break over 50 cents, it's one to keep an eye on. And what else we got? CNAT. Hold on a second here. All right, so CNAT has some volume right here. This is one to potentially keep an eye on. So you can see pre-market high is about 465 right up here. So this one has some volume. You can see the right over here, this gap, right? The kind of the base of this gap at 444. Right down over here. So price is in this gap right now. So this is one to definitely keep an eye on. So it's in the gap, going to be volatile. Support right here on that 444. Got to keep an eye on that 200 SMA right around that 488 or 89 marker. And then if it can get above that, so stay in the gap, get above that 200 SMA, then watch for if it can possibly fill that gap. So CNAT, that's definitely one I'm going to keep an eye on because it's in the gap, has some volatility right now, some volume. So it's one to keep an eye on. Let's see about ONDK. ONDK is not doing anything right now. It held its highs yesterday, watching for potential continuation. So I'm not really liking that one right now. So the one I like the best so far is on, active. Yeah. Guys, on Active Trade, I do have a video on Active Trader on our YouTube channel. Again, if you guys are watching on YouTube here, we shut off the chat on YouTube because we do all our chatting in our chat rooms. We have a day trade room, swing trade room, a futures trading room, and also a hangout off-topic room. We're only $10 a month. Come and join us. So you'll hear me talking to other people, not to myself. Don't have voices in my head, although I probably do. Talking to people in our trade rooms, so come and join us if you haven't already. All right, so take a sip of water. Let's take a look at trade ideas and see if there's anything else good on it. JAGX is on there. JAGX. Again, guys, we also share our trade idea screen live every day. If you're watching on YouTube, right over here. Oh, I'm not logged in over here. Huh. Am I not? That's odd. Let me just reload. I should be logged in. Oh, there we go. Trade ideas link. We share our live screen share here every single day. So for those that are members, want to try it before we buy it, you can see it over here. We update it every day. So you can see our screen live. Trade ideas, best scanner. We absolutely love it. All right, so JAGX popping up pre-market here. Kind of has like that, almost that bull pennant right over here. So you can see pre-market high, $2. Right back over here. I mean, from 13 cents up to $2. Kind of has that bull pennant pattern here. This one's going to do something. It's either going to go and break up and pump. You can see it's a history of pumping and dumping. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on JAGX. Don't really love the pattern right now, but it's setting up potentially for some possible movement up. So obviously, or not obviously, if you're new and you don't know really what we're looking at here, first of all, trade in a virtual account. Don't trade with real money. Practice these trades first. Don't just buy to buy, right? So if you're going to play this long, you want to see it get above $2 and hold. It's got really gapped up pretty high pre-market, so got to watch this one again. History of pumping and then dumping. All right, what else are we going to look at here? CLWT. Oh, that's nice. Look at this. That's beautiful. So you have pre-market high at 595, but then you have this bull pennant. Bada boom. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that bull pennant. That thing's gorgeous. So at this point, you can see history of pumping and dumping. Bull pennant. Watch for this to potentially break out, get over $6. Really nice looking. That one, I like that one the best so far. CLWT. And we shall take a look at SLS. I know people are talking about that in the trade room. SLS. Now that's looking really pretty nice as well. Pre-market high of 670. Where is that? Way back over here. Some resistance at that 200 SMA, 778. History of pumping, dumping, pump, right? Pump, dump, pumping and dumping. Yep, so this is one to definitely keep an eye on. Let me do this. So this is where you can start drawing your trend lines, right? Kind of draw a trend line like that. You can see it's touching some lows here. See if it'll continue up, and kind of draw it like this as well, right? So get your trend lines, look at resistance, look at support. This is another one peripherally to look at. SLS, not peripherally. I like it so far if the pattern holds. I like CLWT the best as of right now. And see, now it's starting to fail a little bit, so keep an eye on it. But see how it happens many times? It'll fail and then pop right back up. So you got to see if it's going to fail the trend line and completely fail, or if it's going to continue, right? But CLWT is definitely looking the nicest right now. I'm going to go to a split screen for you guys right now. Let me do this. Two charts side by side. CLWT. And then we'll put up, see that bull pennant right there, guys? We'll put SLS over here. What's going on, Chess? So, guys, at this point, you can see price is trying to break out of that, or kind of push out of that potential bull pennant right there. See if it can get above $6. And then, you know, if it can get above $6, it could, actually $6 right here. Obviously, it can pump. Oh, whoa. Oh, that's SLS. Okay. SLS is moving. And CLWT right here. So, CLWT, if you're bullish on it, you want to see it break above 595, ideally above $6. $6 is going to be, I'm going to put it right there, key resistance. So if it breaks above $6, you want to see $6 hold. Switch to a 1 minute view over here. Now, you got to be careful if you're a newbie on this one, guys. This one's moving up really quickly on the 1 minute. You see how quickly this happens? That's why it's very important to kind of let things shake out a little bit when the market opens. Give it a few minutes, you know, give it 3 to 5 minutes or so. Let the candlesticks form. Unless you're a hockey, like a hockey ninja like David, he loves hockeys. You know, David could have probably played something like that. He may have gotten in at the break over here and just sold it at the top. I wouldn't be surprised if David did that. Again, we don't advocate that if you're a newbie, don't know what you're doing, but you know, if price breaks above pre-market high, you can get in at the break above and then sell quickly. So many people do that. That could have been a few second trade. You got SLS, David? I'm sure you did. You scalped that? I knew he probably did. Wow, good job, David. You have to be super quick on that. Jill is now breaking up. Let me see here. So you can see right now, CLWT, it's failing the bull pennant right now. It doesn't mean it can't go up, but right now it's failing it. And you'll see right here, I might just adjust this trend line now. Maybe kind of out to this area right over here. So price is kind of trading in that channel right over here. Price is failing this one over here. Jill is one. I'm going to pull up Jill over here. This is from the watch list. So Jill is breaking out. Let's see if it's got some volume. A little bit of volume, not a bunch. So let's keep an eye on. You can see this one's continuing. So it broke. Again, didn't have anything really pre-market high. But you can see it got above that. Stair-stepping now from 790 up to 810. You can see right here with CLWT. Might be coming back in here. Again, it's only 2 minutes into the market. Am I 720? Is my thing not showing properly? I should be 1080. Oh boy, are we gonna have one of these days again? Let me just do a full screen. Let me see. Dang it, am I showing choppy right now? Yeah, my screen's looking... there we go. It's clearing on my end now. A little bit. Guys, if you're in the trade room, can anybody see my charts clearly, or is it blurry? Other than Chaz, anybody see it clearly, or is it blurry? When I kind of did my chart open again, I kind of expanded it. It was blurry when I first had it, guys, and then it got a little bit clearer. So I think it's clear on my end. Anybody else listening, or yeah, anybody else in the trade room? He's soon better. Dan, can you see it fine? Clear, red? How about Dan? How about you? Can you see it? Clear, clear. Just waiting for Dan because he's our technical guru. I'm at 720. Son of a... Yeah. All right, blame Dan. Dan's got to fix mine. Oh, it's going to be one of those days. Well, clear and then 720. All right. I think this is what it's fine. All right, cool. I'm not going to worry about it. You get what, as Dan tells his kids, you get what you get and you don't get upset. Right, Dan? There we go. So that's it, guys. You get what you get and you don't get upset. Jill is still moving up. Now, okay, so Jill, JAGX did halt. Yep. Man, that was fast. Dang, look at that, huh? 5 minutes. I was looking at a couple stocks, BSing with you guys, and then Jax just went up from bam. That was quick. So right here, now you want to see Jill, see if it can break above 718, see if it bull flags here. So right now you kind of have this bull flag. Just kind of draw the lines right here. Kind of has your bull flag. Now you want to see it, if you're bullish on it, break out, get above 720 or 820. Let's take a look at a 5-minute. Be careful of this wick over here as well. So what may look good on a 1-minute might be a little bit risky on a 5. So it's contending right here with that wick on the 5. So ideally you want to see a bull flag get above that 818 range if you're bullish on it. So it kind of peaked out a little bit right over here. Now it's pulling back a little bit. So going to keep an eye on this, see if it bull flags or if it just dumps. Yeah, VKTX is pretty volatile. ONDX, that one's moving. I think ONDX was from the watch list. So yeah, ONDX. Right here. Bull flag here. Bull flag. Slowly riding up here. Not a ton of volume. Let me look at the 5-minute. Daily. I think I had did I have ONDX as a short? No, at or above. Okay. So I had that one on the watch list, at or above 664. And as you guys can see here right now, it is went up to 683. See if it'll continue or if it's going to fail. Right here, look over at Jill. Might be trying to get out of that flag right here. Awesome, Chaz. Showing some weakness here now. With Jill, kind of have this flag pattern on a 1-minute. Again, you want to see as price breaks out here a little bit. Many times it comes out of the upper channel, comes back down, retest. You'd like to see it like this. That's a potential good sign. Now you want to see it get above and break out. Now you kind of have almost like a, you know, you can kind of draw your trend lines a little bit right here, right? Kind of have like a symmetrical triangle-ish. Might turn into an ascending triangle. So kind of look at these areas of support and resistance. Man, CLWT is dumping. So let me pull that one. What's the market doing right now? You guys see this? Jill has a higher day at 818. You can kind of draw this trend line up like this. It's kind of in between over here right now. And now you want to see it. Is it going to form an ascending triangle and break out? Or is it going to fail these trend lines? Got to keep an eye on it. Let me pull up a 5-minute again. Again, that weakness or that indecision on the 1-minute is happening because of that 5-minute candle wick over here. So price has to get above that 818 or that, yeah, that 818. Let me pull up CODX. So CODX, right, has that resistance right at that 200 SMA right here, that black line, and right at this high right over here at this candle. Yeah, pattern's a little bit messy right now. It's got to contend with this wick up here, see if it can hold. Again, a little bit far away from the 9 EMA. Let's take a look at the 1 minute again. See if it'll hold above the 9 EMA and bull flag. Moving up. Now watch the pullback. It's caught right in between support and resistance. And now right over here on Jill, you have kind of like this ascending triangle being formed. Keep an eye right over here. See if it can break high a day at 375 range. There you go. Beautiful ascending triangle. Look at this one on Jill. Breaking out. There you go. And now you can go in and draw your trend line like that. See how it's cleaner now, guys? Now you have your ascending triangle. So when price breaks out of the ascending triangle, you want to watch and see if the retest will hold. Now this is, again, this was resistance. Breaks out of resistance. Now it's support. So this is a nice clearly defined pattern. This one's a little trickier, right? Not as clearly defined right now, but actually kind of is. Kind of has an ascending triangle as well. So this one's starting to break out a little bit. Let me do this on a 1 minute. There we go. So it's so important, guys, to draw these patterns. So it kind of has kind of like an ascending triangle, or basically an ascending triangle. So now as it broke out of this 375, now you want to see that area hold if it continues up. CLWT is failing, SLS is failing, CNAT is failing, JAGX is failing as well, pumped and dumped. So right here, this is definitely, keep an eye on this. That's a nice formation of a potential bull flag here. See if it can continue up. See this nice trend line that you can draw here? Nice pattern. So right now with Jill, just want to watch this one. This one might be your kind of a slower grinder. It's a little bit more of a higher float. You can see ascending triangle, kind of bull flagging here, right back down to the trend line. Use this trend line as a guide for you guys. Let's see on the daily if there's any good resistance to look at. Probably 850 I would look next up for some resistance. All right, kind of at the top of this. Right below 850, maybe that 840s range. I'd look right around up the top of that candle. 840s I'd keep an eye on. So you can see this one broke out up here, came back down, now it's retesting. So it broke out of resistance, retesting, now support. You can see here it's showing some potential weakness, so on CODX, got to keep an eye on it, see if it can hold and continue up. Let me look at a 5-minute pad. This may bull flag if it holds. I'm always trying to find the patterns, guys. I'm, again, more of a pattern trader. So So you can see pulling out, coming back, retesting, struggling, needs to get above and continue. Jill is riding that trend line nicely as of right now. Now this one's failing over here, the trend line. Let's take a look at CO or DDE as hitting trade ideas. DDE is a little bit messy. This one had a daily breakout today. Pattern's kind of really messy on this one right now. It's contending with this big long upper wick on the 5 minute. So got to let that pattern play out a little bit more. Jill, possibly some potential weakness. Very close. It's kind of a little bit below this trend line right now, but you needs that 9 EMA on the 1 minute to catch up a little bit. So price may come back here. Keep this 9 EMA as your guide. So you can see the trend line is like that early warning signal. Keep an eye on it. Again, be aware, very overextended on the 5 minute and also on the 1 minute. Showing some weakness at that trend line. CNAP may be creeping up. Let me take a look at that one. So this is the one, guys, that we were talking about last night from the watch list. CNAT is in the gap right now. Hence the volatility. Hence the crazy patterns, right? So this one's a bit messy. You want to see it ideally get above that high of day around 472. And then it's got that 200 SMA to deal with. You can see over here, Jill still held that trend line, right? Still holding it. Again, keep an eye on right about 844-ish, right in the 840s as resistance. That's for sure, yeah. Lone Wolf said, boy, this is a typical Friday. Great picks going in, and then it all takes a big poop. That is true. Let's take a look at JAGX. This one may be trying to hold the 9 on a 5 minute. Went right up, pump right back down. Now you want to see if the pattern's going to hold down over here. Watch this 5 minute candlestick. See if it kind of holds and maybe wants to continue up. But you see big tweezer tops up here. See that? 2 equal highs. One up, equal high, couldn't break, boom, right back down. Jill still struggling along that trend line here. So you could use the trend line as your guide, or also the 9 EMA on the 1 minute as your guide as well, depending what you feel more comfortable with. Depending on your entry as well. Right now it's starting to kind of fail it. Doesn't mean it's going to fail, but keep an eye on this 9 EMA. Let me look at the 5 minute. Yeah, so you kind of have a 5 minute spinning top candle. So that might be some indecision that it might want to reverse, or, you know, it may continue, you know, form a bull flag. Got to keep an eye on it, but it's definitely showing some weakness over here now. See that? It's kind of falling out of it again, but it still could be bull flagging on a 1 minute. So that's where you got to determine, are you a 5 minute trader, 1 minute trader, more of a slower trader again, or a quick scalper. Great job, Jeremy. Nice job, Red. JAGX, you can see this little kind of doji candle here. 9 EMA on the 5 minutes trading sideways. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. You want to see it either go up or down, choose a direction. As you can see, Jill is now starting to fail. That's not a good sign. Now see if it can hold that 9 EMA. It's not looking so hot right now. VKTX is definitely failing. Let me go back over there. So if you guys could have found shares to short. Anybody using on Interactive Brokers, can they find, I'm not logged in right now, shares to short for VKTX? Or were they in on it? So you can see VKTX had a double top failure. Top over here at 11.18, failed right over here. And you can see you could have taken a short right below that 5 minute candlestick around 10.50 or so. And this has been nice. Now it's going green to red. And this one could, well, could give back a lot. Or it could reverse, right? Gotta watch and see. So watch as it's failing and going green to red. Many a times, you know, if you missed your entry up here, you can wait and watch it kind of form and close below previous close line over here and use that as a good resistance line. So many times as it's falling and failing, it'll also pull right back up. So it'll kind of bull flag and go back up to the moving average lines. You can see it's very oversold right now. So watch for a pullback, right? So maybe it'll pull back and then continue failing below $10 below previous close. You might be able to get another entry if it's showing that, you know, if it's going to stay bearish. And as you can see, Jill failed below the 9 right now, not looking so hot. Switch to a 5 minute. And there you go. That 5 minute spinning top candle was a warning. And right now you kind of have basically kind of like an evening star pattern right over here. Guys, if you're not sure what the heck I'm talking about, again, we say it over and over. Take our courses over here. We have a few $1,000s worth of courses. Our candlesticks course and then our advanced candlestick courses really will go, as you can see. Look at this. Evening star pattern. Look, we even put pictures. I'm going to have nicer, cooler pictures looking for you guys. Some cool, more artistic ones. So some better ones are coming, but these work for now. Our artist is working on them. So evening star pattern. You can't see here. I didn't highlight it. Again, we'll be giving you guys some new ones, but candlestick up, kind of a spinning top candle, coming back down. See that 3 candlestick pattern there? Come over here. Green candlestick up, spinning top candle, candlestick down, right? Up, indecision, down. Up, indecision, down, right? Reversal pattern. Let's take a look. I keep peripherally looking at ONDX that might be intriguing, so let me take a look at that one. So this one may be forming like a kind of a symmetrical-ish triangle or a pennant. Let me look at this one again. Not much volume, which is okay. It might be forming a pattern. Let's see. Oh yeah, is this the one that's in the gap? Let me see. So it looks like it's in the middle of this gap over here, 680. Let me go over. Let me remove this drawing here. 680-ish. Where is price now? Yeah, so price looks like it's right in this gap over here, right? Big gap, hence the volatility. This is one that might be intriguing to watch. Going to do this, put a high of day up here at 683. So this one's potentially a little bit intriguing. So it might be, got to keep an eye on this one. Let me pull up a 1 minute. Might be interesting to watch. Might be forming like a triangulish kind of formation. I'd like a little bit more. Like you can see, if you did something like this, I'd like a little bit more peaks or so, but maybe kind of like this, right? So it's kind of forming like a triangular formation. So that's one to keep an eye on, especially it might be consolidating, right? You know, again, not a lot of volume in the gap. So keep an eye on this. See if it can go up, get some volume, break it above the 683 marker. I'm going to move that one over here. Jill, not looking so hot anymore as of right now. So I'll move ONDX over here. What the heck? ONDK. All right, there we go. So we'll put that over here. You can see these triangles get messy sometimes, right? If they don't break out, they get a little bit messier, and you can see kind of breaks out, comes back down, retests. So that's why it's important to find those, to draw your trend lines, right? Nice job. I don't know if it's Siete trades or site trades. CLWT might be doing a reversal. Keep an eye on CLWT. This one may be trying to reverse. See if it'll continue. Let me go to the 1 minute. It's above VWAP now. It's retesting these resistance areas. And you have high of day right around that 586. So maybe forming a cup pattern or a cup and handle. Got to keep an eye on that one. ONDX is kind of failing out here outside of the trend lines now. But as you see, this will start to form. It may form a different triangle, so we might have to move those trend lines. Or it may fail, right? Just has a lot of overhead resistance to overcome right now. CNAT is potentially breaking high of a day right now. See that, guys? Just keep an eye on this. Not saying it can't go up anymore, but it goes back up. So you can see this was the trend line from earlier right up here. Right here, extends across. Price goes up. And now you can see it's up against resistance, pulling back. It may form a cup and handle and break out, or it may fail. CNAT is getting closer to high of day here. CNAT. CNAT is breaking, or was breaking high of day over here. Pattern's still a little bit messy. Let me see on the daily again where we're at. Price is in this gap right now, hence the volatility. Next up, 488-ish range for resistance. Needs to hold, right? Price breaks above high of day, comes up here, retest back down, needs to hold. And this is where it gets a little bit choppy. Yeah, let me take a look at CODX. Guys, very important. Support and resistance. If you're newbies watching this, over and over and there we go. Keep an eye. So it's retesting. So faked you out. Kind of faked out here. There it goes. So quick. Seeing that. Son of a gun, huh? That's why these, like this. Guys, this choppy, messy, garbage looking, crazy looking pattern over here and all these wicks and all this messiness is because of this. Price is in this big gap, right? When price gets in the gap, it gets messy. That seesaw roller coaster. Again, keep an eye on 488 or so, 487, 88 resistance. So that's why these ones get a little bit hairier to trade when they're in the gap. You can make really good money on them, but sometimes the patterns are very difficult to find, right? Very all over the place and choppy. But again, if you're newbies, again, we're trying to show you guys support and resistance over and over and over again, because that's what it's about, right? Just because a stock's hitting trade ideas or a scanner doesn't mean it's going to continue going up, right? Got to think about the psychology of things for a moment. When price is hitting trade ideas, there's also a little bit of a lag. That means people are getting in. It's got to catch, so people are buying. It's then, trade ideas has got to then catch that volume and then transmit it across their scanner. By that time, somebody may have got their position and some big trade room or guru may have been, whatever, either pumping on purpose or indirectly talking to their chat room about it. And, they get in on a break of something. So let's say right up over here. So let's say, this is not really a great example. I don't know if a good one right now. Let me see. Maybe JAGX, right? Give you guys an example. JAGX. So this morning, so here's your 1 minute, right? So here's kind of how this works, right? So by the way, if you're watching this one right here, crazy volatility in the gap, needs to hold that 472 marker if it's going to continue upwards. Just very messy right now. So point being, so you may have been like, so someone could have been looking at, again, I had JAJX on from earlier this morning. I turned away, and for less than 5 minutes later, this is what happens, right? But if you're a newbie, right, you can see this pattern. It was nice. You were looking for a pre-market, break of pre-market highs over here, right? So it had 1 minute candle, 2 minute, second minute candle, third one right over here. If you missed this break over here, you could have then gotten in right over on this one. This is about your last shot. So look at how quick this happens. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, got halted 4 minutes in. So think about this. I want you guys to understand the psychology of this. Just want to make sure I'm not missing something as we're talking. CNAT, yeah, it's still going up over here. Nice job, Dan. Yeah, today might be more of a shorting day, guys. So let me go back over here. 1 minute in, 2 minute in. You missed the break right over here. Then you had one more potential entry right over here. Again, a little bit riskier. It's a bigger candlestick. So by the time this happened, right, if a trade room called out they were getting in on this one, or even at the break of this one, right? If they got in at the break of this candle, so give you an example. If I call out in JA, so this is how trade rooms work, right? And this is pretend like I'm a trade room leader. I guess I am a trade room leader. I'm not trading JAGX right now, but this is how it works, right? So if you guys are following me and want to copy my trades, I'd say in JAGX, right? I'm on YouTube right now, so there's probably about a 10-second delay. But on normal services, there's still about 2 or 3 second delay. So you're going to get a delayed entry off of me anyway. And that's just me, never mind the hundreds of thousands of traders in the world, right? So now I said E in JAGX. Now you guys are chasing me in now. I already got in at the break of this candle at 230. But you guys may be catching this candle, 240s right here. You may take you 15, 20 seconds to get in. Meanwhile, I've probably dumped anywhere right in this candle right here, right? I probably would dump here, right? Dump before the halt, dump at 240, 50, 60s. Now, this is if you're lucky. This all happened within 1 minute. You had to be in and out super quickly. But most times what will happen, let's say, the guru calls out the trade, NJAGX, you're scrambling, you're getting in. Oh, my God, chasing, scrambling, it's hitting trade ideas. Boom, halted. Then newbies, most newbies are buying up here, right? They're buying at the tops of these candles. They're buying at resistance. And then price is halted, opens up. Now you're panicking. Your stomach's turning. You're freaking out. Oh, my God, what's going to happen? It's halted. And meanwhile, the trade room of the guru is probably out over here, somewhere in here. It took their 20, 30, 40, 50 cent scalp, whatever, got out before the halt. And your bag holding up here, and then you just bought at 320, and now you just got smacked down. You just lost $1 a share. Boom. About 1,000 shares at 320. It's $3,200. You lost $1 a share. You lost $1,000 in a course of 2 minutes. That's why you don't copy gurus' trades. You need to know support and resistance. Here you go, CNET. So sometimes, again, this messiness right over here, kind of, I guess now that I look at it, it's kind of an inverse head and shoulders. A left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, and then this neckline extends up, right? So now this one might be doing kind of an ascending triangle-ish right over here. Right? So this has an ascending triangle. Watch if you can break 480 and hold. CODX. Let me pull that one up. So I just want to show you guys that with while this is, again, if you're bullish on CNAT, watch for a break of 480 and see if it holds. There it goes. Watch if there's a retest of 480. Remember, CNAT has some resistance around 488 or 89, that 200 SMA. Let me pull up CODX. Everybody's saying it's amazing, and yes, it is. We get so watch 480 marker right here at 480 codex. Look at this. So it's got a big kind of cup pattern. Then you also have a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, and neckline at 480. Super overextended on the 5-minute. Touching 480, or it's getting right near it. Over 480. Again, see this line right here? 480. It needs to break above it and hold. If you're a newbie, you don't buy out here. Very far away from the 9 right now. Again, if you didn't catch it near the moving average lines, you're probably missing the move. Nice, David. $5 up next. Needs to break above 5. Let me go back to the daily. Dang, this is a great move. No chill right now. All over trade ideas, CODX. Newbies, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't chase this. You don't chase it. I know it's hitting trade ideas. It's amazing. Probably going to get halted. You just don't chase it. I'll show you guys this one in a second. It probably is halt. Is it halted yet? I don't see it on the halt. There it is. Halted. Bam. That was predictable. All right, so let's talk about CODX, right? So CODX, so this is where, again, patterns, right? Very, very important in determining what type of trader you are. Are you a 1-minute trader? Are you a 5-minute trader? You can see over here. So this chart is a bit messy on the 1 minute, but if I turn it down to a 5-minute, again, this is still a very messy looking chart for a pattern, right? Pattern was all over the place today on CNAT. Again, CNAT is all messy right now because of what? Again, we're going to go back. I'm going to keep showing you guys this. The choppiness and the messiness is because of this gap right here. This gap. Price is right in the middle of this gap and right below the 200 SMA. So here's your daily candle. You then zoom in. Here's your 5-minute. And look at the 5-minute. Very choppy, crazy looking pattern. Very difficult to trade this. Hence the reason why, because you have the volatility of being in the gap on the daily. Now you take a look at CODX. This one right here was really kind of just trading sideways in the pre-market, right? You see the pre-market high right about that 354, right? So this is, again, where now you got to determine, right? James. Oh, hold on, James. I got to see this. James, did you make a great trade, James? Oh man, there's a lot of action going on in the trade room, so I got to see what's going on here. James, what happened? Are you stuck in a trade or are you doing well in it? I don't know if you can hear me. Lone Wolf says, James, that may be the best trade I've ever seen in here. Now I'm curious. I want to know what the heck. Somebody tell me what James did. Is he on CODX? Oh, nice, James. James buy-in at 380, sold at 493. Dang. Was that on CODX? Oh, beautiful. Oh, we're going to talk about that. 380. He got out early. That's okay. 493. Oh, that's beautiful, James. That's all right. I wouldn't. So, perfect. I was just going to talk about CODX as well. 380 to 493. So he made $1.13. Incredible. So you can say incredible, you got lucky, yada yada yada, or you can say technical analysis, right? So let's take a look at that. Unbelievable, James. So here's what happens, right? So if you waited right over to here, that's about 950. At 950, so 20 markets and 20 minutes in the market. Again, are you going to be a pattern trader? Look for these patterns to form in the 5-minute, or are you going to be trade the 1 minute and be a scalper in and out? You know, again, are you going to trade like I think David? I think he traded JAGX or one of those. David's a guy that would come in on a 1 minute and scalp this thing super quick, like bam, bam, in and out. There's nothing wrong with that, right? If you're super quick on the hotkeys, right? 504 you got out? Ugh. 380 to 504. Love it, James. Great job. Awesome job. We're all excited for James right now. I'm just reading his comments. I'll explain to you James' thing in a second. We'll go over that. Awesome. All right. So if you wait for the patterns to form, you can kind of see there was this bull flag, right? So it did nothing right over here on the 5-minute, right? Or kind of just trading on the EMA sideways. fell below it. Then you can see price broke above right over here. Broke above pre-market high right over on this candle, broke above, and then kind of pulled back, right? So then you can decide, hey, do you want to get in above over here and use a close below this one as your stop? A little bit risky, right? So you can kind of let this play out. All right, so you can let it play out. You can see these two little doji candles. So now you kind of have this bull flag. Yeah, and so here you go. Typical tweezer tops. Bada boom. We're going to go over that as well. No surprise that's dumping. Ah, James, you made an epic, epic trade. All right, so let me go over here. Let's take a look at what James did. So now you can see it pull back over here. And then you can kind of see like that wedge or that kind of like that flag right here. Right? So you can see it went up. It broke above pre-market high over here. Pull back. Have this candle here. That's still 385 down to 350. Still a bit risky on these candles. And then you have these two pullback candles right over here. Again, buy at support, sell at resistance. So buy near the moving average lines, not out here. Again, buying out here is very risky because it's far away from these moving average lines. So newbies, most of them get caught up and they buy way out here and then they get screwed, right? So you got to wait for these little pullbacks. And I think James got in at 380. So he got in right at the center of these candles right over here. So if you were 5-minute trading this, you could have got in at the break above. Now you're here. Let me zoom in here on this 5-minute. See this red doji candle? Buying on these candles, you can see 372 down to 320. That's a 52-cent risk management. Terrible. That's very high. This candlestick right here, 384 down to 354. Not really great. Still 30 cents. Still a little bit risky. Better than this candle, but not good as this. Not that good. Right here, you still would be buying where it's still kind of overextended way out here, but better risk management, 398 down to 373. Still not great. But as it pulled back here, now you're getting closer. You can see 391 down to 373, about 18 cents. Not great, but you can see it's kind of now forming that pattern, that bull flag. So then as price breaks above that doji candle, you could have gotten in at the break of this doji candle, break above it, and used a close below this doji candlestick as your stop, right? Many times it'll fall below and bounce back up, so watching for a close below it. So as price broke above it at 391, so James may have been trading a 1-minute. I have to ask him, but if you're trading a 1-minute, we can look at that in a moment. But you'll see on the 5-minute, as price is breaking above that doji candle, you could have gotten your entry, and then at that point, you're going to determine, am I going to do a 5-minute, get out based on a 5-minute candle close, or am I going to, take my profits on the 1-minute, right? So this is where, people could let greed get in, right? So you can say, I'm just going to ride it out, which again, that's the whole thing, right? You could get in on something and sell too early. So technically, James could have made more money because he got in at 380, right in the middle, probably right around here, right? And then he sold, I think, at just say $5, right? So he sold right here. Beautiful. Just couldn't have done it any better. A lot of people may have gotten shook out right over, or sold probably back here, and still, it's still a great trade, 380 to 420 something. That's still a 50-cent move. But he had the cojones to still ride it up, right? Still was riding. So technically, these are bigger green candlestick tops here. You could have still rode that up, right? But if he had waited over here, he could have made, $5 up to $5.45. So you could say, oh, that sucks. I could have made another 45 cents more. Well, yeah, you could have also gotten, this candlestick may not have formed and this could have dumped. So making over $1.13 on that trade is incredible, But follow these patterns, right? You can see this bull flag goes up, and then you got to start determining. You're seeing up here, if you got an entry down over here, you can still be in this trade. So technically, James could have stayed in this still and still wrote it out, there's still no close below the 9 on the 5-minute. You could use if you got an entry down here, you could use a candle close below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute if you wanted, right? So if you get a great entry and you're playing the 5-minute, you could let it ride up, and then at that point, you know, right here, 464, you could use a close below this 9 EMA as your stop and still be doing really well if you got an entry back here. But that's your determine, right? So that's what you got to determine, right? There's no guarantee. Hindsight is 2020, right? That sounded good. Is that right? Does that sound right? Hindsight is 2020. I think that's a saying, right? So that's the risk. That's the risk of trading. Nobody knows. I mean, this thing may keep flying. Who knows, right? But he still got it in down over here, you know, at 380s, sold up here. That's a tremendous trade. We're all looking. Everybody wants to make those dollar trades, right? But the dollar trades don't happen every single day. They don't even necessarily happen every single week. They might happen a couple times a month. It's those 10 and 15 and 20 cent gains that are incredibly, incredibly important. So that's why you have to have really great risk management, you know, in determining, having really tight stops, you know, buying and having stops on smaller candles like this, not on bigger candles, right? But a newbie, what would have happened is a newbie would have been in a trade room. The guru would have gotten a breakout over here, right? Breakout over here, 392, calls it out. Now, oh my God, I'm up 2,000. Oh my God, he's the brokerage account hero talking about how much money he's making or she's making, whatever. I just say, I'm not saying he to be sexist. I just say he because it's just easier to say, right? He or she is calling out the trades, right? Calling out their trade. Now they're look at it, boom, dang. James, don't beat yourself if you're watching. Again, there will always be another trade. Always. Always, 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 always another trade. So, you know, newbies, again, even if they got in up here, they would have gotten lucky per se, right? Or they could have wrote it up here. But again, look at this, 421 to 502. That's terrible risk management. You got to wait for these pullbacks. So you could have waited for this one to pull back right here in a 5-minute, that 540, still down to 480. Just you gotta have some tight risk management. So you can see pull back here. Now it's a mind of its own. Got to get above $6. But my whole point being in this, guys, when I'm saying this to you guys, is don't beat yourself up. If you miss a trade, you miss a trade. Don't chase it. There will always be another trade. Trade Ideas is the best scanner on the planet. They will always pick up whatever's running. If you miss one today, even if one doesn't happen Monday or Tuesday, it might be Wednesday or Thursday something will happen, right? The market doesn't go up forever. It doesn't go down forever. So if the market's going down, there'll be big green days, right, to recover. If the market's going up, there'll be big red days. So on Trade Ideas and these trades, there's always something running. Trade Ideas will pick it up. If you're a newbie and you miss this move, just don't beat yourself up. If you sold too early, hey, you made profits, you know. But that's the easiest way to blow up your account. I know everybody's talking about CODX. It's crazy. The easiest way to blow up your account is to be a newbie and chase. Never, ever, 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 ever chase a stock. So if you were to trade this one, ideally right here, and also potentially above this candle right here. But I would be very, very careful risking this entire candle as your stop, because it's a 546 to 480. That's a big candles, you know, big risk management, right? So what I would have done like this, if I was to get in at the break of this one, anything closing below that 546, I'd be out. I wouldn't wait down here. Does that make sense? So many people will get in and be like, I'm just going to chase this thing and ride it up to the sun, you know, to the moon, whatever. But if it breaks out above that area, if you start getting a close below this, I'd be out. But you got to be careful because this thing could just slam. It could go like, it doesn't mean it's going to be a small candle close. This thing could just dump and fall completely below it. That's where then you could then transition, watch the pattern, go to a 1 minute, and see how that all formed. And ta-da, here you go. Right over here, you had an ascending triangle. See that? There's your ascending triangle. And now you could draw your trend line. There you go. There's your trend line, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 or 6 touches right here. See that? Now draw your trend line. See that? Another ascending triangle potentially forming here. Keep an eye on this. Watch for a potential breakout over 6. Patterns, guys. Patterns, 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 patterns. So if you got in at the break above that 544, a close below that, right, this line would be bad. You see it went up, and now you have this almost this tweezer tops. Now, again, $6 psychological resistance point, right? $1.50 right below, goes up, pulls back down. But this 1 minute candle, look at this, 546 to 590. That's, what is that? Almost a 50-cent move in a course of 1 minute. But then again, newbies, here's where newbies get trapped. The guru says, whoa, got in, broke a high a day. You're chasing that guru. You're probably the guru. This is a perfect example. Here I am going to get all fired up. All right. Guru then, you guys all think about it. The excitement of CODX happened all back here. It's slamming trade ideas. People are happy. People like James, he's making money. Other people are crying. Newbies that are buying at the top way up here and got burned, and that pulls back. Now they're freaking out. They bought up here. Now they're losing money. They sell. And then, oh, my God, it's going back up again. Now they're like, oh, let me go back in. They're freaking out, right? All the emotions. Don't beat yourself up, Jay. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. It happens to everybody. Jay said he scalped CODX too early in the threes. Happens to everybody. Join the club. So then, here you go. Now, CODX is on everybody's radar, right? Yeah. Here we go. Made a ton of money. Then you see this pattern forming, right? This is a perfect textbook example of how trading works and how newbies get burnt. Pattern looks fantastic. Expert trader, guru, gets in at the break on this 1 minute, right around here, at the break of this ascending triangle. Now listen to me, guys, right? I'm on YouTube. I have about a 10-second delay, but I also in another trade room, if I had just even a professional service, I'm still probably going to have about a 2-second delay or so. So now I'd say in Codex, CODX. I'm not in Codex, by the way, just letting you guys know. In CODX, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Now you guys hear, oh, Lucian is in CODX, which I'm not. Now you're going to say, oh, I got to get in CODX. Let me get my order ready. Let me go to Thinkorswim. Let me buy CODX. Meanwhile, you're buying potentially right up in here. You got that 20, 30 seconds, right? Boom, you're getting in CODX over here. Look at what happened the next candle. Bam, smack back down, right? Meanwhile, I'm the guru. As a time, I'm not a guru, but pretend I'm the guru. Meanwhile, as I got in, I'm selling below $6, that psychological resistance point. So I get in at 546. I'm probably selling 10, 15 seconds later. So I say in CODX, you guys get the call out of my trade. You guys are getting in anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds later. Meanwhile, by the time you're in the position, I'm saying out CODX. And you're like, oh, crap, he's out CODX. I got to get out. Meanwhile, I probably got in 546, selling up in here, 570s, made my 30 cents. You got trapped up here as a newbie. Next candle, boom, smack right back down. You bought up here, now it's fallen. That's how trading works. That's how trade rooms work, many of them. Again, that's how the industry works. Support. Buy at support, sell at resistance. Don't buy at resistance. So newbies, watch what I'm showing you guys here. Do not buy out here. Do not buy out here. Right? Look at as I'm talking. You guys watching this? Newbies, don't buy out in here. You guys see? Far away from the moving average lines. Don't buy out there. Far away from the moving average lines. Don't buy out here. Don't buy out here. You guys seeing this? And there you go. Gotta find these patterns. Super, super important. You had another entry within here, but again, 521, this is where it still gets a little risky. You're not buying out in here, out here. You're buying now. Let me remove that oval drawing. This one right here gets a little trickier right here. You got to be careful over here. Maybe you bought right above this candlestick right over here. Maybe above this one here on this green candlestick. Or you could have waited for this green candlestick to form, pull back over here, and then ideally you can see you want to get it probably, again, it's going to be a little hairy in here, right? But one of these candlesticks, that one from 540 down to 520, that's still a 20-second or 20-cent candlesticks. You see how this gets still pretty crazy? Ideally you're going to take some risk in here, but that's where you're going to determine, are you going to get in at the break above the top of an ascending triangle, or are you going to get in the middle of the triangle over in here or in here, this area, for an anticipation of a break. That's going to be your determination. That's where you use that 9 EMA as your guide, right? So ideally, on a trade like this, you want to get back in over in these areas at a break above. You had your pre-market high right here. So then you had this, right? So going back this morning, if you were looking at the 1 minute on this, you had your ascending triangle over here, right? So price broke out a little bit right over in here. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. Price broke out right up over in here. So right out after it broke out from $4 up to $4.18, it was still an 18-cent move. If you missed it, again, on a ascending triangle, you want to watch for that pullback down, right? It breaks out, watch for that retest, and you can see it retested right over here. It came back down. I would have waited here. This confirmation candle pulls back. This is your confirmation here. Get in at the break right over here. And then there you go, right? So then you could have using Dan's strategy, that ride the 9 strategy. You could see it. You've got in a break over here, so that's about 414. And Dan's strategy is when you get your first candlestick close below the 9 EMA, get out. So right over here, 414. Now, here you go. Take a look. Your first candlestick close, 515. You still actually, even if you were super, super, super greedy, you still made from 414 down to 515. You still made $1 if you were completely greedy. But if you were smart and not greedy, when you start seeing price out here, take your profits, right? 414 to 544. You would have made another 30 cents more. And if you still didn't sell then and you still rode it, you better take your profits out there. Wow. I hope you guys are paying attention to this, because this is textbook. This is textbook of finding these patterns, drawing your trend lines, not getting too greedy. And the case of, again, that FOMO, right? We all want to make a ton of money, right? We all want to get the big move. But again, James can't beat himself up for making, whatever, $1.14 on that trade when he could have made maybe $1.50, right? So, wow, that took a lot of my energy out. Jeez. Was that helpful for you guys? Anybody listening? Or am I talking to myself? So now when you see this kind of happen, now you look at this, it looks a bit messy. Then I would just clear my chart. And then I would go down and go back to a 5-minute. And now look at the 5-minute. Not looking good. Now it's doing kind of a... Thanks, Jer. I don't know. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Yay, I'm a hero. Oh, guys. Guys, someday if I get in trouble for saying the wrong thing, come to our defense so we can keep things going for you guys. YouTube, we love you. Facebook, we love you. Google, we love you. We love all social media. We love you, YouTube. You're the best platform on the planet. We do love YouTube. YouTube is the best. YouTube is the best. You never know when AI is listening. So, by the way, guys, so here you go, right? So now you got to find the patterns. Head, left shoulder. Now watch if there's going to be a potential right shoulder forming. You can see here. Draw that line over here. Left shoulder, head up here. And now 550-ish area would be resistance, right? So you see how all those those patterns, you can see this bull flag happen here, quick bull flag here. Now you got a head formation, a left shoulder. Now watch, this could bounce again, but now it's got a left shoulder to contend with, which would be the right shoulder. And now, you had this, let me see if I can go back to the 1 minute. The trend line was broken up here, right? So you kind of had that trend line up there. Now go back to the 5 minute. And voila, look at that. See that 1 minute? What it did translates over to the 5 minute. And look at this, guys. Oh, there's so much technical analysis here I can show you. You guys see this? It broke the trend line right over here. But you didn't have to wait for it to break the trend line. This doji candle said look out, but that doji candle, the second candle here, is part of this candle right here, these two candlestick patterns, which are what? Right? Let me remove this drawing. You guys seeing this? If you took my candlestick course and you don't know what this is, this advanced candlestick course, then shame on you, because that is a gigantic warning sign of this. Go to our candlestick course. Go up here. Voila! Tweezer tops. 2 equal highs. Warning, warning, warning. This is a huge warning, warning, warning sign. See that? 2 equal tops. Right over here. 2 equal tops. Overextending. Look out. It's telling you, bye-bye, see you. I'm going down. And then what is this? What is this pattern? This one. Right here. Tweezer tops. What is this 3 candlestick pattern? Go back over to our course. 3 candlestick pattern. Goes up. Warning sign. Comes down. Evening star pattern. Right there. Goes up. Indecision. Down. You didn't have to wait for this down candle. This would have been your potential warning sign. But you know what happens to newbies? Newbies follow gurus and get in a trade just because they say they can get into a trade when they don't know support and resistance. Because either one, they don't know what they're doing and they want to learn, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Or two, there's also people that want to handhold and just don't want to do the work of learning how to trade and learn support and resistance. And they don't realize trading's hard, so they want someone to call out trades to them. And meanwhile, they're going to blow up their brokerage accounts and lose their money because they didn't know patterns, they didn't know support and resistance, and this major clues. Guys, I took about a half hour explaining this one stock, but I'm hoping you're really paying attention because there's so much in all of this. These are the trades that we all want to get, but these are not the ones that happen all the time. So you can say, well, these trades don't happen all the time, so I want to trade, I want to trade, I want to trade. Well, don't trade if the setup isn't there. You can't lose money if you don't make a trade. You can't make a bad trade if you don't make the trade. Wait on these trades, right? Use your account, scale up, get a good, entry on something like this. You could have made just one trade on this. Just bought 1,000 shares, right? If you bought 1,000 share position on it and you got in, waited for this bull flag to form right over here, just waited, was patient on this 5-minute pattern, got in at the break of this candlestick right over here on that bull flag, bought 1,000 shares if you had at least 5,000 in your account, bought in at $3,800. If you didn't get shook out, you would have just sneezed and made $1 potentially on that trade, right? If you just kind of wrote it up, watch these three, probably up here, even if, $4.99, $3.99, if you're up $1, take $1, right? Even if you just held it, this still pulled back, still no close. Even if you just waited for a stinking close below the 9, on a 5-minute, you got so freaking greedy. You didn't take any of your profits up in these areas over here. Still waited for that candlestick close. And you just played the 5-minute chart. You still got in at 391. And you still, if you didn't sell over here, then shame on you. Still at 480. You still made almost $1 by being super greedy. You bought 1,000 shares. You made about $1,000 that week off that one trade. $1,000 a week times 52 weeks a year is $52,000 a year off of making one trade a week, waiting for a good setup. Are you guys listening? I hope this is making sense to you guys. This is why you don't trade just to trade. It's okay to trade these trades over here, in scalp, right? Go one. I don't even know if this is a good 1-minute setup. This 1-minute setup's garbage, but let's look at this one. JAGX. I think this is the one David traded this morning. It's okay to trade these, man. If you're quick, super quick, a lot of people like this. Bam, 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 right? Right over here. Break of a pre-market high. If you missed it over here, if you wanted to be a hotkey ninja like David, where is this candle? 226 down to 194. Not great, but hey, if you got in on this one candle right here, if you missed the break over here, waited for this to form, got in the break of this one at 230, you're up 90 cents within less than a minute. I'm sure most people, again, are not holding until it's way up like this, but 230, anywhere up in this candle you could have sold and been in and out within a minute. You may not have waited to 10:45 today. You would have been in and out at 9:33 and been done. But again, you got to be aware of this, guys. You can easily make a lot of money on these really quickly up, but also these will go against you many times very quickly as well. This is a pump and dump pattern, right? Pump and dump. FU pattern, put your middle finger underneath it. This right here had a nice bull flag, gave you an entry. So this is, again, great contrast of what type of trader that you want to be. There's no right or wrong in this way, you know, to trade. If you want to be like a David and be hotkeys and trade like this, good. That's great. You know, be aware, very well aware of your risk. You want to hotkey it. You know, Dan would probably trade something like this too. He's super into hotkeys. I'm more patient. I'm more of like, I like to let the patterns form. So I would have missed this trade, but probably caught this. So again, no right or wrong way, but the right way is to make sure that you have proper risk management. We all want to make this. We all want to hit this move. But if you're not giving tight risk management, having proper stop losses, and not taking your profits along the way, then you're going to get burnt. And over and over and over, you will always sell too soon. It happens all the time. You're never going to complete. Maybe once in a blue moon, you may have been able to ride this out completely. Again, it's easy to look in hindsight and see this and be like, oh, man, I could have held that to $6, right? But if you got in back here, and you're watching your brokerage account up $1,000, $2,000, you know, your emotions are going to get in the way. Later, Big Bear, your emotions are going to take the best of you, right? So, patterns. Patterns, patterns, patterns. So this is why, again, this is, you just look at my screen right here, you look at those two charts. And you too, David. Just kind of leave that up for a second and show you guys. That's the that's trading right here. There's actually probably not a better way to really explain it than the contrasting two charts here that you could have, that either way of trading is great as long as you're aware of the risks. Right? Letting the patterns form, watching for breakouts, using tight risk management if you want to be safest. This over here, again, being aware that the first 3 to 5 or 10 minutes of the market, many of these stocks will pump and dump. There's nothing wrong with looking over here. You could have even gotten in at the break of this candle right here if you saw this, if you wanted to be risky. You know, it's at 195 down to 188. So right here, that's actually not bad risk, right? 195 down to 188. That's only a 7-cent stop. If you got in at the break, you can see there was a pre-market high. If you went in, zoomed in over here, you could have said, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to get in at the break of this candle in anticipation of the break of the pre-market and caught this and said, I'll risk that 7 cents. But now you're risking, if you get in at the break of this candle from 230 below down to 193, 37 cents. 37 cents is a much bigger risk than 7. But you still could have said, hey, I'll ride this out. And again, that 5-minute candlestick didn't even, I guess it did happen, right? It's 1 minute, 32. Man, this happened really quickly. So my point being, guys, is here's a patterned trade, and here's your classic pump and dump, and you can make money either way. And man, I just burnt myself out. We didn't look at a lot of other stocks, but if you really listen to what I was showing you guys here, there's so much in this that you really need to take in on patterns, risk management, be aware of how the market works. Be aware of trading rooms. Be aware of this is why we don't call out trades to you guys. Again, we say it over and over and over again. The easiest thing we could have done is just watch the stock like JAGX. Told you we're in JAGX, right? You chased us up. We're brokerage account heroes. Yay. Look at us. We made 5 or 10 grand today because we bought 5 or 10,000 shares. Again, meanwhile, the average newbie can't buy 10,000 shares of JAGX because they don't have 30,000 in their account. They might have 1,000 or 2, right? So I could buy 10,000, shares of JAGX at $2, make $1 on the way up really quickly because I slammed some hotkeys. I made $10,000. You think I'm a hero, right? I'm a brokerage account hero. Yay, look at me. I'll throw some thumbnails up on YouTube. Hey, I made $10,000 today. Woohoo, yay. Meanwhile, this is not the great way to teach a newbie. This is a perfect way to blow up your account. This is why we teach patterns and doing these things, because eventually you'll be able to get to a point, if you're a day trader, after becoming very comfortable by making hundreds of practice trades. Amanda's new trading laptop showed up today. Now tear it apart and make it worthy. Oh, David, you sound just like Dan. That's what Dan does. Yeah. Amanda's going to kill it. So that's where, again, that's, right? So what was I saying? Hundreds of practice trades. Hundreds. And after you've made hundreds of practice trades, you're going to feel comfortable trading. And then that's when you can then start practicing with fake money, not real, doing trades like this that David and Dan and those guys like to do. And then when you get really comfortable like this, take smaller shares with real money and practice it, and then scale up to regular positions. But these two charts are great examples of this is the safest way, looking for the patterns. This is the more risky, but you can see you could have still made $1 or so on both of these trades. You would have waited probably, over a half hour or so to make it within here, and you would have made it within 3 to 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes over here. And that, my friends, is going to conclude my lesson for you guys here today, because there's a lot to it. My brain is spinning. Hopefully it was some use to you guys today. If not, wait for Dan. Dan is the trend line and technical master. All right, guys. So over here, I'll wrap it up. Over here, what was I gonna say? The old way. I'm going back to the old. The old. I tell you guys, I used to be in sales, right, for most of my entire life. Corporate America, absolutely freaking miserable. 20 years in corporate sales, right? They used to talk about, remember going back in the day, you're welcome, Tillman. They would say the whole elevator pitch, right? So what are you going to do when you're in that 15 seconds in an elevator and give them that elevator pitch, right? And then it evolved along the years to wedge statement. So I used to do business-to-business sales and door knock, right? Knock on doors. And you have to give it went from elevator pitch to wedge statement. I might have to write a book about this someday, the evolvement of sales. Man, I think I should, Dan, I got to write a book on corporate America sales someday. Make it like a comedy book, right? So then you have a pitch that you got to give within, your wedge statement before they kick you out the door, saying, who is this guy coming in here? I want to throw him out, right? So meanwhile, all that to say, here's my wedge statement or my elevator pitch for you guys or whatever. Same one I do every day. And it changes, right? But if you haven't been over to our community yet on Facebook, come and join us. We have an awesome group. I may be biased, but we get really positive feedback all the time. Guys, you can find other stock market communities. Some of them might have 80 or 90,000 people in it. We have 30,000. That's still really good. But I actually was I sent Dan a text today. I saw Dan actually like either declined or blocked like 200 or 300 people. I was like, Dan, is this right? He said, yeah. So Dan is like super protective of approving people in our community. So we would be probably twice the size if we didn't have Dan doing what he does. But thank God Dan does what he does, because we're not a spammer or a crappy garbage stock company. So we block so many people before we even approve them coming in, people that are Forex and binary people. And, you know, you can kind of see like ahead of time, like what's going to be going on. So we prevent that before it comes in. And then if it does sneak through, then we, again, just boot or just report something, and we'll remove a member, remove a comment, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, by the way, CMEG group, that's Dan's. Dan is rocking CMEG group. The code's below for CMEG. That's a lower broker. He's really happy with them. Yeah. So basically, you get the code, but then you can't use the code because they haven't fixed, you know, these. Geez. Yeah. So whatever. Hopefully you can use our code. So bottom line, guys, here's our group. If you haven't joined us on Facebook and you're just spying on us on YouTube or whatever, checking us out, seeing if we're real, if we're legit, come and join us over here. We're the Bullish Bears. Great community. Like and follow our fan page. Some bottom line, if you like what we're doing on Facebook, thank Dan. He is our Bullish Bears police officer. And we actually have a real police officer, Tim Davis, in our group. So we have a real police officer, Bullish Bears member, and then we have a Bullish Bears police officer policing our group. And yeah, so that's our group. Like and follow our fan page. You know the drill. And then our website. What can I say? What can I say? Day trade room, swing trade room, futures room, hangout room. I don't know how many more rooms we can add, but I'm sure we'll probably figure out another one down the road. So if you're a day trader, swing trader, you're into futures trading, come learn about us over here. Practice. Again, some people don't like social media, don't like Facebook. We love Facebook, but some people don't. But we love Facebook. So some people don't like it, social media, so they come over here, and this is a great place to learn, right? Practice, talking, all that good stuff. So our trade rooms, again, are open 24 hours a day. So so after the market kind of slows down, that's why we stop at around 11 o'clock or sometimes a little bit before, because, you know, then you're trading against computers and algorithms, right? So, but people still talk 24 hours a day within our trade room, you know, so you can come back at night, talk with people. You come back in the afternoon and talk with people. Even when we're not in there, there's people always talking and helping each other out. Great places to learn. So come in here and practice and talk to other traders. Really great place. And our trade alerts up here. Again, we're not a stock pumping service, so make sure that you check us out over here. Our trade alerts are key breakout and breakdown areas. Again, you have to know pattern, support, and resistance. If you're waiting for us to call out a trade to you, it's not going to happen, because that's not who we are. If you want to pay somebody else to tell you when to get in and out of trades, I would say might as well just like give us your money now, because you're going to lose it that way. Because over, you know, the best traders in the world still fail 35 to 40% of the time. So if that's the case, people that follow their trade alerts, I mean, you'll be lucky if you get a 50-50 shot. And that means you have to be in front of your computer ready to get in and out of a trade quickly. But what if you're at work, you're sick, You're fighting with your boss. You're in a team meeting. You're at lunch, in the bathroom, and someone calls out a trade alert and you can't get out. There you go. Great way to blow up your brokerage account. So if you're willing to work your butt off and you're willing to come each day and work really hard, we're the community for you. If you're looking for a handout and somebody to tell you what to do all of the time and you're not going to put in the work, then we say go pay somebody else $200 a month that would love to take your money, and you're not going to make it as a trader. That is the reality. Not trying to be a jerk. That's just the reality of trading. And here's our stock watch list. Again, we post them over here for everybody each day, our day trade and our swing trade watch list. Thousands of dollars of courses. Thousands of dollars. This will keep you busy for months. We have a members-only area, all these private members-only videos on top of all of our courses. We share our Trade Ideas link. We love Trade Ideas. Best scanner out there. We share that every single day. That's a $120 a month scanner. And then, as you can see, all of that, if you click subscribe, $10 per month. Not going to find a better deal in the industry, guys. And as you can see, we don't even include live screen sharing on these. We show Trade Ideas, but this live screen share that I gave you guys today is not even included on this. So we're actually giving you these live screen shares and not even making it part of our membership. So someday we may charge more than $10 a month. Who knows? We haven't decided that yet. As of right now, no intention, but someday we will. But if you're paying $10 a month, we always take care of our members. So pay $10 a month or $99 a year, and we'll include it. You'll be grandfathered in. If someday we decide to wake up and change our pricing to more, you'll be paying more if you're not paying $10 a month. Very simple. Trade Ideas, here's our discount code over here. Make sure you please click on our link. We do get paid affiliate commissions with Trade Ideas, Market Club, any product we promote. So yes, we do get paid if you buy something from us. We'd appreciate it if you buy from us. It helps us to keep costs lower, right? You know, so if you buy a product from us that you're going to use anyway, you know, it helps us out and helps us to keep things lower for you guys. Very simple. Market Club, great scanner as well. Half the cost of Trade Ideas. More of a swing trade kind of scanner. Trade Ideas is the best overall, but Market Club's really good, great for a budget. And again, we tell people overall, don't buy anything unless you have the budget. Don't waste your money. But at some point when you do have the budget, treat this like a business. Trading is like your own business, right? You know, treat it like you would a business. You got to invest in your business. You got to have good tools in your business. So when you can afford it, you're going to have to spend, you know, money on tools. You're going to have to spend money on, if you want to get a better broker, or like if you have a smaller account, but you need something like a CMEG group to trade more effectively. Yeah, you might have to spend $130 a month on you know, getting your brokerage account set up rather than a free one, or like rather than Robinhood. That's the thing of trading, right? Trading's hard, takes a lot of money, a lot of investing. So that's what I got for you guys, right? Some of you guys may have tuned me out because I'm rambling, and some of you guys may like it. That's how it goes. Let me show you guys this really quickly before I go. Again, so now watch these patterns, right? So the pattern, look at this. I'm going to show you a couple things here, right? Real quickly before I go down. Head, left shoulder, extended right shoulder, right? Go to your trend lines. Right over here. Well, so what? Couple different ways you could do this. If you're looking at the head and shoulders, do this first. You can see kind of a neckline down over here. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline. Price needs to get above that right shoulder, left shoulder over here to break the pattern. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline. Right? You guys seeing this? And then you could also do this. and say, well, not really the greatest, but maybe can kind of do this a little bit as well. Kind of extend it out. So you can see that kind of has like a bigger overall, kind of like a triangle, a symmetrical triangle. And then you have that head and shoulders inside of it. That's why we tell you in our courses, guys, patterns within patterns, support, resistance, trend lines. That is the name of the game when trading. If you just watch this video over and over and over and over again, you're going to learn so much about trading. Never mind all that we offer. All right, guys. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe take a nap, take a walk, do something. Have a great day, and I'll be back to probably do, I don't know if I'm going to do the watch list later today for you guys. It's either today or maybe this weekend. I'll decide for you guys later. So enjoy your day, everybody. Happy trading, and I'll see y'all later.